Hello and welcome to this presentation for A-Level Business Theme 1. This one's on 1.1.1 the market, and it will focus on mass and niche markets. So what do you need to be able to do? Well, you need to be able to define the term market. You need to be able to calculate market size and market share. You need to be able to explain the difference between niche and mass marketing, and you need to be able to analyze the pros and cons of niche and mass marketing. So, what do we mean by a market? Well, a market is anywhere where buyers and sellers come together to transact with each other. This can be to trade products such as fruit or vegetables, or services such as a haircut. And sometimes buyers and sellers do come together in the same physical space, such as in a shop or a restaurant, but increasingly buyers and sellers transact electronically, for example through auction sites such as eBay or via retailers' websites like this ASOS website that you can see here on the screen. So how do we calculate the size of the market? Well, that can be measured in two ways: by volume and by value. So the two V's, by volume and by value. For example, in the UK in 2015, 14,790,000,000 litres of soft drinks were sold. So measured by volume, that's the size of the market, 14,790,000,000 litres. But how can we calculate the size of that market by volume? Well, since the average price per litre was £1.06, then the market size measured by value can be calculated using the formula total number of units sold in the market times by the average selling price. So 14,790,000,000 times by £1.06 gives us 15,677,000,000. So that's the formula that you need to calculate market size by volume. Number of units sold in the market times by average selling price. So some products are targeted at a mass market. This means the business sells the same or almost the same product to all consumers and markets them in the same way. Lots of fast-moving consumer goods such as breakfast cereal and Coca-Cola are sold in this way, as is some computer software. So targeting a mass market can provide some benefits to businesses. Firstly, although the business might make a relatively small profit on each individual item sold, the fact that there is such a large potential market means that the total revenue on all the items sold is potentially very large. In addition, producing such large quantities can lead to economies of scale. Kellogg's can buy raw materials such as corn in very large quantities, enabling them to negotiate very good prices with suppliers. And this can help them to reduce unit costs, the cost of making an individual item like a packet of Kellogg's cornflakes. And if they can reduce the cost of making a packet and decide to keep the price the same, then that will increase the profit that they make on every item that they sell. So two important benefits there. Large potential market meaning large revenues, and potentially significant economies of scale, which are falling unit costs as output increases, gained by things such as bulk buying. So, definition for you there: mass marketing involves targeting the whole market with one product which is marketed in the same way. However, mass marketing as a strategy has its drawbacks for businesses. For instance, because the market is so large, with so many potential customers, lots of producers may be attracted to it, meaning there may be a lot of competition, making it harder for businesses to build a large market share. Also, because products are not heavily differentiated from substitutes, customers are often unwilling to pay a higher price. If Kellogg's tried to increase the price of their cornflakes by too much, consumers might switch to a substitute, such as Nestle cornflakes. A third drawback to mass marketing is that since there is often a lot of competition in the market, businesses often have to spend quite a bit on marketing, firstly in order to differentiate themselves to reach a large number of customers, and also to try to differentiate their product from substitutes by building a strong brand for their product. Pardon me. Let's take a look at niche marketing. So sometimes, rather than targeting the whole market with one product and one approach to promotion, businesses divide the market up into segments, like you can see with this orange here on the screen. This enables them to identify different customers with different characteristics and different needs. And the business can then either perhaps just target one market segment, just target, boys aged 16 to 18, or they can perhaps target lots of different market segments, maybe target boys 6 to 18, girls 14 to 16, and maybe older ladies over 60, but target them in a different way. So perhaps they design different products and different marketing strategies to meet the needs of these different customer groups. So another calculation for you. We know that measured by value, the size of the soft drinks market in the UK was 15,677,000,000 in 2014. A niche player in the market, Square Root London, you can see on the screen, had sales of 3.2 million in that year. How can we calculate Square Root London's share of the market? Well, that's the formula that you need, and you need to take that down. Market share equals the sales of a product or business divided by the total sales in the market times by 100. And that tells us what percentage of sales in the market does that individual business have. So if we take the example here of Square Root London sales were 3.2 million. The total sales in the market were 15,677,000,000. So we divide one into the other and times by 100 to convert it to a percentage. And that tells us that Square Root London's market share was 0.02%. So that's very much a niche player in the soft drinks market. So what are the benefits to companies like Square Root London of targeting a niche like that? First of all, tailoring products closely to customers' needs can give businesses a competitive advantage. Customers are more likely to be loyal to a business or product that closely meets their needs and less likely to switch to an alternative. Second, because the product meets consumers' needs closely, they are often willing to pay more for it, giving the business scope to charge a premium price, increasing their profit. Third, because the business knows its customers very well, it can use targeted promotional activities which are more likely to be effective than campaigns that try to reach everyone in the same way. Those promotional campaigns are also likely to be cost efficient. The business will not pay for expensive mass advertising campaigns, instead opting to reach consumers in a targeted way. For instance, promoting this bike desk here in cyclist magazines. So you've got a definition at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you've got that down, please. Niche marketing is targeting a small segment of the market with specific characteristics and needs. Now, like mass marketing, niche marketing also has its drawbacks or its limitations. First of all, the business may experience low revenue levels due to the low level of sales volume from a limited number of customers within the niche. However, do bear in mind that businesses that follow a niche marketing strategy may choose to operate in more than one market. So overall, they might achieve a high level of sales across all the different markets that they operate in. Second, high unit costs. As low production levels mean it's hard to achieve economies of scale, the business may find that their unit costs are actually quite high. And this, combined with potentially low levels of revenue, can limit the potential profits earned from a niche marketing strategy. Third, premium prices that can be charged by businesses in niche markets might actually attract competitors. So that might mean that the potential profits that a business can earn from the high prices that they can charge might be eroded in the long term as new competitors enter the market and potentially undercut you. And lastly, if a business does operate in just one market, then the impact of a fall in demand can be very significant indeed. It's very risky to depend on such a small section of the market for all your sales. Okay, so hopefully you've got those down, and let's take a look at what our objectives were. So you need to be able to define the term market, calculate market size and market share, explain the difference between niche and mass marketing, and analyse the pros and cons of both niche and mass marketing. Hopefully you can do that now. If you have any questions, please make sure you've jotted them down and you can ask about them when you come to class. Thank you very much for listening.